Hi, Katzcradul here. Prepare and I made a trip up to Illinois a few weeks ago, and we spent the night in a little town called Peru. When we got there, we were really tired, and we asked the desk clerk where would be a good place to eat that would be fairly close by and that would be tasty. And she recommended a Mexican restaurant that was just almost on the hotel parking lot. It wasn't but about a half a block away. And with some reluctance, I decided to try it. It has been my experience that, and not to offend anyone in the Midwest, but I have tried so many Mexican restaurants and just cannot find anything that I think tastes delicious. Of course, I'm from Texas and am used to eating great Tex-Mex Mexican food, and I've just been really disappointed with everything I've tasted in the Midwest. But pardon me, on the desk clerk's recommendation, we decided to try this little Mexican restaurant. It was really good. We were almost done eating when there was a large party at a table next to us. The people there ordered, with some excitement, the guacamole to be made at their table. And this restaurant offered a service where a little guy would come out with a cart, and he had one of these, which is known as a molcajete. It's a mortar and pestle used anciently and up to current times to make lots of different things. It's to grind spices or to mix guacamole or anytime you want something really finely blended, they use this stone mortar and pestle. Anyway, the little guy came out to make this guacamole salad for them, and he had little containers of jalapenos and tomatoes and garlic and onion and limes and that kind of thing. And I don't know how much they charge for it, but I'm sure it was a pretty penny to get him to do that at your table. And Prepare said, "Oh, we should order that," but we were both so full by that time we couldn't have eaten it anyway. And I told her it was so easy to make and that I'd do it for her when we got home, and she was excited about that. So here we are tonight with a big bowl of jalapenos a friend gifted to me. I'm going to can those, but as I was about to start the canning process, I remember the promise I'd made to Prepare and thought it'd be a great time to make some of that rustic guacamole salad, especially since I had jalapenos and I had some beautiful ripe avocados. I also have some beautiful cherry tomatoes from the yard and both onions and garlic that we grew. So it's a great time to make this salad. I got the preparation started by washing and cutting the cherry tomatoes in half. I finally diced the jalapenos. That's about 2 large jalapenos. And I don't really want to write a recipe for this because you see what goes in it and put it in according to your likes. I probably put more tomatoes in than I should have, but I just love the flavor of them, especially at the end of the season. The flavor is very intense and sweet. I do like lots of jalapeno in mine, so I don't mind it being a little hot, and I like a lot of raw onion. Not so much garlic because I don't want it to flavor the delicate flavor of the avocados. So that's what goes in it: tomatoes, jalapenos, onions, garlic. I probably used about I used 3 large avocados, and I used about 3 cloves of garlic. I probably put in about 1/4 of a cup of diced onion and probably, maybe 25 cherry tomatoes. I realize it was heavy on the tomatoes, but I just love the way they taste. So let's get started. I'll show you how to cut up the avocado. Nothing could be easier. You just wash your avocado, place it firmly in the palm of your hand, rotate your sharp knife around it till you get all the way around. Then strike the pit with your knife and simply twist it out. Now, a lot of people go to the trouble of dicing up their avocado. I just don't find that necessary. If your avocado is ripe, you can just squeeze it right out of the skin. See how easily it comes out and just slides right out. I just don't see any sense in wasting the time of dicing it up if I don't need to. The other thing you can do if you're not comfortable with squeezing it out is just to get a large spoon, place it firmly in between the skin and the flesh, and then just scoop it out. So I'll just finish these other two halves here. There is a very narrow window for using avocados when they become ripe because they quickly become overripe. This avocado would have been perfect yesterday. There's just a couple of little brown spots on it which will not be noticeable. You'll see I'll pick one off here. And the only other ingredient besides salt and pepper that you need is lime juice. And that will keep your avocados from turning brown, and it just tastes delicious. So here we go with the other ingredients. Jalapenos, onions, a little dab of garlic, and then the tomatoes. They all go in the bowl together. This is so easy to assemble. It only takes just a few minutes. Very, very little preparation, just a little bit of chopping. And here's the surprise equipment. In my kitchen, I just don't have room for a molcajete. I just don't have the space. And I have to use equipment that is dual purpose. And so in order to put my avocado salad together, I'm going to be using a large bowl and a potato masher to simulate what the molcajete would do. And it works just fine. This potato masher has a really nice grip on it. I think it's the OXO brand. I bought it at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's just a good piece of equipment. I use it for mashing grapes when I'm canning them. So let me show you how this works. Just a little cleanup here. A little salt and pepper. You'd be surprised how much it needs, especially if you're using the fresh tomatoes, because they really need a good bit of salt. And here I'm grinding in some black pepper. Can hardly have too much of that. And then here's my fancy equipment. It works just great. I'm just pressing down on the skins of those cherry tomatoes. They of course have the skin on, so they're just a little bit tough. I also want to mash up the onion and garlic and just get it all incorporated. I don't want to make the avocados so mashed that they look like most typical guacamoles that just look like an avocado puree. That's not what I'm going for. I want this to look rustic. I want there to be large chunks. When I bite into it, I want the different ingredients to be identifiable. So here I found a little nest of avocados that needed to be mixed in. That's looking pretty good. There's one more flavorful ingredient I forgot to mention, and that's cilantro. I thought I had some in the refrigerator, but when I went to pull it out, it was actually flat leaf parsley. Lucky for me, I grew a lot of cilantro last year and dehydrated it, and listen to the suction on that jar, and then vacuum sealed it in a jar. So I'm just going to put a little on the palm of my hand, just gently grind it up to make it kind of powdery, just a touch more. The tomato juice in the guacamole will help the cilantro to rehydrate very, very quickly. That's enough. Look how green. Now I can just vacuum seal that jar again, put it back on the shelf. So let's just mix this in a little bit. Doesn't need much. That's pretty good. All right, now since the mixing bowl doesn't look very pretty, it's kind of a mess, I'm going to put it in a clean dish. This little shallow dish is perfect for dips. You don't want to put dips in a deep bowl. Look how beautiful and green. You can see the tomatoes and the guacamole, just so vibrant. This was kind of spur of the moment. I only had a few chips after I shot the video. I went and found some more in my storage room, but here's enough to sample. It's really good. Probably could use just a little bit more salt, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit across the top, not worrying too much about mixing it in. That's enough. Try it one more time. It's really good. You can taste the onion and the tomato, just a slight hint of garlic. Now it's time for my real taste testers, Paladin Prepper and Prepper. Let's see what they have to say.
Very good.
Mmm. Oh, that tastes like more. That's very good.
Love avocados, and this is a great, great dip.
Well, that's the official verdict. Rustic guacamole my way. Now let me show you what to do with the leftovers. You know how you put plastic wrap down on pudding so it doesn't form a skin? Well, you do that kind of same technique here. You just press your plastic wrap down onto your guacamole. What you're trying to do is to eliminate any air pockets, because that's what's going to turn your guacamole kind of an ugly gray color. So I put that first little piece of plastic wrap on, pressing it flat against the guacamole, and then put my second layer on to cover the dish completely. Whoops, I accidentally pulled it off the guacamole a little bit. There, push it back down. And it's ready for the fridge, and it'll look just bright green tomorrow. I hope you give this a try. It's really good. Until next time, this is Katzcradul.